Alright everybody, this is Austin of the Best I Can Afford Antiques channel. Let me make sure my camera lens is clean here before we proceed any further. I talk to you guys, God, there I go, do you know how much I say that? I can't stop trying to break myself. God, come on, Austin. It's really bugging me. It's really bugging me how much I say it. I don't even know why. Alright. Allow me to fight with that mentally as I proceed. Let me think. Let me give you some advice. I'm an old wheeler dealer. I'm an old sort of, I'll give you this much for this car. Because I've bought cars and I've bought, I've bought all sorts of goofy stuff over the years. I've done quite a bit of stuff. I've watched my mom do a lot of wheel and deal, and she is I don't know how to describe it. She's just tricksy. She is a sly woman, and I think a little bit of that rubbed off on me, and I don't use that for evil, I don't. I'm not trying to get one over on anybody or anything, I just 2 times in like 30 seconds. Don't don't lose it, Austin. Come on, man. All right. Excuse me. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I have like all these rules for myself, when I'm dealing with someone, who I want to deal with, who I'll buy from, who I'll sell to. I just won't do business with people that I don't need to. So, first off, I'm not going to do business with anybody that's rude or, wants to rip people off. I'm not going to do any of that. You've got plenty of choice between tons of people on this planet. There's nothing wrong with, before you buy a thing, sending the seller a message and just being like, hey, how are you today? I really like this piece. And, if they send you a message back, like, I don't care about anything you just said and I don't like you automatically, then you don't have to buy a thing from them. If they send a message back and they're like, oh yeah, me too, I love it, that's why I bought it, and, now I'm moving along and sorting out my collection, and this is moving out. I like buying from people like that, and I understand if it's just a business person too. But I don't buy anything from somebody that wants to be rude to people. I don't need that thing that bad, and you're not the only person that has it, or at least one that's vaguely similar or reminiscent. And another thing, I'm not mentioning any names. It wasn't the person's fault. I think they're an inexperienced seller or buyer. They're not like a person who spent a lot of time buying cars from old guys and stuff. But I recently made a deal with someone, and then they continued to try and bargain with me. Like, they offered a deal, and I accepted that deal, and then they continued to try and bargain with me to get a better end of the deal. Which, don't offer a deal that you're unwilling to accept, first off. And second, once someone has accepted a deal, don't keep trying to bargain, because that's just going to sour the whole thing. And again, I'm not mad or anything, I just, these are like rules and attitudes that you'll encounter in the wild. So I am wild, and I'm out there, so you might run into it. But really, there's a lot of people, that last one I just said, what did I just say? Oh my god, I'm so flighty today. Oh yeah. So don't offer a deal that you're unwilling to accept, and then don't continue trying to negotiate after someone accepts the deal. Those are both like huge faux pas of any sort of deal making. And again, I'm not talking smack about anybody or anything. I just want you to hear, certain things you may not have heard before. Alright, now, It's almost 5 minutes into the video. I've barely completed a thought. And this is the last piece of cloisonné from the Brothers Gallery box. I believe that was Mobile, Alabama. Mobile? How do you guys really say it? You feel free to tell me. So this cloisonné piece, this is actually perfect. And like I said, I paid between $7 and $21 for the 3 pieces of cloisonné that I got from the Brothers Gallery. And this one's completely undamaged. So, I mean, even if this was the $21 one, well worth the price. And what a magnificent selection of colors on this. I'm super happy to be looking at this thing. I love the little swirly gigs. This is another example of Kyoto Jippo. Oh, look how dirty my thumbnail is. Oh my god. Alright, you're just gonna have to live with it. I really am a mechanic. I really am. I get exceptionally dirty sometimes. So you see there's kind of a lavender. It's not quite lavender. It's a little darker than lavender. There appears to be a really light blue. Is that a little... It's just a really light blue little panel there. I'm sorry about the focus. I see it keep kicking in and out. I don't know if it's going to do that like when we watch this on TV or not. Note the little circles around the fence up here. That's very typical of Japanese. So is this goldstone technique. Chakasiki? What's it called? Someone else will know. Chakasagi? No, now it's just going to sound like I'm making fun of a language. It really is a word that sounds almost exactly... It's in there somewhere, and I'm just missing it. I know I am. I don't want anyone to think I'm mocking them by guessing at what the word actually sounds like. I apologize. I just can't remember right now, and it's bothering me. I can't quite see what color the counter enamel is. It looks like a light blue. The counter enamel is the enamel on the inside of the vase. I think counter enamel not only protected against corrosion, but if I had to guess, I think it provides a heat sink. So that when you're heating something up, especially like say metal, okay? If you had all this enamel on the outside of it and you had to put it in the oven, right? Well, the inside of this vase is going to heat up faster because there's no enamel protecting the inside of the vase versus the outside of the vase, which has to heat up this layer out here first. So I think what they do is they have to put the inside enamel in there as a heat sink to as if to sync up the temperature of the inside and the outside. Now, I could be wrong about that, but mechanically it makes sense to me. It makes sense that you would have to stabilize the temperature on both sides of the piece of metal in order for it to not warp or flex or anything like that during the firing process for the enamels. I know we've talked about this many times, but let's not forget that, you know, cloisonné is these little cloisons, or cells in French. Cloisonné is partitions, I think, is the actual definition of cloisonné, or partition. And then they fill in all of these shapes that they've just drawn with enamel, which is crushed glass and different minerals to make different colors. And this is such a tricksy procedure, because I mean, like these enamels, when they were making these would have been a different color and everything. These wouldn't have been blue as they poured them in there. They would have had to experiment by baking these enamels, and then they would have discovered what color it turned into after the firing. So then that would decide for them which colors they were going to use in the future. Now this has a ton of colors in it, so I'm thinking it's a relatively, like a slightly more modern, it's still Meiji era, but I think it's probably late Meiji era Kyoto Jippo. And you see like how many colors they display here. We've got this light blue, which I think might be the same as that light blue. And then this weird kind of stone color. I don't know if that's actually enamel or if that's actually like ground sand or something. That almost looks like sand right there in the background of that one. And that's a different blue, and then a red in the middle, and then yellows, and then I can't quite tell if maybe that's a dark green. It might be. It's a little tough. I think so. Once you kind of get it turning there, you can see a little bit of green shading to it, I think, unless I'm just being ocularly deceived. Was that too much? Ocularly deceived? I don't want to talk about it. So then, yeah, we got more red and yellows and whatever this kind of cream color is. We'll focus on the top in a second. I do kind of like this sandy stuff here. Obviously, this blue. I think these are tiny little butterflies. Maybe they're just flower petals. That could be too. You got a little bit of purple and sort of a pink right there, surrounded by green and white dots. I mean, really, there's so many colors on this. That's a weird kind of greenish yellow. So, I mean, yeah, they must have experimented tons with colors. There's a sort of old sticker on this, 206 NY. Just sort of a brass bottom, no big deal. Nothing there. Well, unless there's a... I don't think so, though. No, I don't feel anything under that. Okay. So then we get back to the top, and we got this weird kind of pinkish again for the flowers, and some green under that, little yellow dots, some gray over here. This is kind of a blue, I think. Yeah, that's a blue, and then we come down to a purple, and then another blue in the middle of that. I mean, white all over the place. Really, I mean, they had so many colors on this. That's a beautiful little vase. I'm very happy with that. So yeah, as always, this is Austin at the Best I Can Afford Antiques channel. Just trying to figure out my life, trying to figure out the script here. You know, I'm working on it. I'm a little bit tuckered out. Oh, I couldn't sleep last night. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, it is what it is. This is awesome. At the Best I Can Afford Antiques channel, if for some reason you actually like this stuff, and you like me, like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the things, you know? It's a pleasure talking to you. I hope you enjoy it.